Hello, fellow patriots, and welcome to this special holiday edition of Red Rights and You, where America is not just a place, it's a state of mind, and that state of mind is freedom. You ever notice how Memorial Day went from honoring fallen soldiers to a day where Chad from HR flips tofu burgers and lectures you on carbon emissions while wearing Crocs with rainbow flags? So, what's Memorial Day really about? Now, spoiler alert for most Gen Zers, Memorial Day is not National Play PS5 weekend. It's a day where we honor the men and women who gave their lives defending this country, not a chance to post bikini pics with hashtag grateful vibes. So let's rewind the tape. The origins of Memorial Day go back to the Civil War, a little internal disagreement we had about how awesome freedom is. Over 600,000 Americans died. Afterward, people across the country began holding tributes for the fallen. Now, back then, it was called Decoration Day because they decorate soldiers' graves with flowers instead of, like today where they're having clearance sales. In 1868, General John A. Logan issued a proclamation for a National Day of Remembrance on May 30th. Now, no one knows why he picked that day. Some historians say it was because flowers would be in bloom. Others say it's because he just liked May. Either way, the guy had a mustache that could win a bar fight. Memorial Day became an official federal holiday in 1971, thanks to something called the Uniform Monday Holiday Act. Because Congress was like, hey, you know what it'd honor the troops? 3-day weekends and mattress sales. Now, look, I love a good cookout, obviously, as much as the next guy. If you're not grilling meat on Memorial Day, you're probably, writing for the Atlantic or something. But we've got to remember the purpose. Memorial Day is not about celebrating being off work. It's about remembering those who never came home. But you wouldn't know it if you watched mainstream media. CNN did a Memorial Day segment last year on sustainable flag production because apparently polyester flags are killing the planet. No mention of the men and women who stormed beaches so Anderson Cooper could say climate trauma with a straight face. Now, let's take a look at some ridiculous headlines from past Memorial Days, which completely missed the mark on what the observance of this day was intended for. 1. Top 10 vegan grill ideas for Memorial Day from BuzzFeed. And then there was How Memorial Day Reinforces Toxic Masculinity from Vox. Finally, Why Memorial Day Should Include Gender-Neutral Remembrance from our friends at the Huffington Post. I mean, what's next? Pronoun badges at Arlington? But hey, not all hope is lost. Across America, there are still some amazing ways Memorial Day is honored. In Waterloo, New York, the OG birthplace of Memorial Day, they shut down Main Street, not for protests, but for parades and solemn remembrance. Imagine that, shutting down a street for patriotism instead of Free Palestine and Elon is a Nazi sit-ins. In Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, they've been honoring fallen soldiers since 1864, and they still do it old school. Prayer, speeches, and a reading of the Gettysburg Address, which is probably banned in California by now. And in Indianapolis, they throw a little event you may have heard of, the Indy 500. Nothing says God bless America like slapping a bald eagle sticker on a car that can do 220 on turn 3. Now, to be fair, I was privileged to attend the Indy 500 just a few short years ago. And what many Americans don't see is the pre-race pomp and circumstance. It is steeped in reverence, remembrance, and celebration dedicated to our brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. It will bring a tear to your eye. But perhaps the most touching tradition, the National Moment of Remembrance. At 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day, Americans are asked to pause for 1 minute to remember the fallen. Now, I know that might sound tough, especially for that ever growing segment of our population with a 4-second TikTok attention span. But I think even Gen Z can give up one Fortnite emote to honor real heroes. Look, I'm not saying cancel your barbecue. I'm just saying maybe invite Uncle Bill, the retired Marine, and ask him what Memorial Day means. Maybe let your kids know it's not just about pool openings and overpriced beer. If you're going to flip a burger, do it in honor of those who never came home to flip their own. If you're going to light fireworks, remember the real explosions were on beaches named Omaha and Iwo Jima. And if someone tells you Memorial Day should be about inclusive remembering, just smile and thank them for their opinion and point them to the nearest safe space, preferably outside the U.S. This Memorial Day, we here at Red Rights and You are making a pledge to remember, truly remember, the men and women who laid down their lives for our freedom, to honor their sacrifice by living like Americans, bold, free, and maybe with a little extra ketchup. And to never let this holiday become just another excuse for sales, virtue signaling, or tofu. Thank you all so much for joining us on this special Memorial Day edition of Red Rights and You. Enjoy your picnics and barbecues. Just remember to toast a beer and raise a burger to those brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their lives so that we could hang at holiday get-togethers and take advantage of the many freedoms we enjoy right here in America. Until next time, stay the course, stay strong, and stay patriotic. God bless you. God bless our fallen heroes. God bless their families, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Happy Memorial Day, everyone.